Hi there. Greetings. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Yes, it's Friday. Yes, it's noon. Yes, it's my favorite time of the week. Let me make sure I'm on mute. I am. And welcome to the show. It is 5/27/22. I have named this Minard, Casey, Saylor, and AOL. What do they all have in common? We're going to unpack it and find out today. But I do want to just share with you that 2 days ago, I hit a milestone. And it's one of those milestones that maybe many of you have gone through, but it was really kind of my first punch in the stomach in a long time. You know, when your hairdresser or who cuts your hair cuts all your hair off, you're kind of noticing a whole lot of gray there, right? And then when she comments and says, your hair is really starting to look sophisticated. And I'm like, what? So I'm now starting to look sophisticated. That's a really nice way of saying your hair's going gray. So that was my personal story of the week. Today, I'm going to open the show with a series of a couple of video clips, and it's all going to build up to something that will be, I think, very important to the community and very important to our story as we grow. This is the show for the Epic Cash community. Hello, everyone in the chat. Love you lots. Thanks for being here. I'm going to share my screen. Now, I know you've seen this gentleman before. You've seen this gentleman because on Wednesday, Crypto Coffee with Todd Lewis, he was on. We're not going to play the whole thing, but I just want to play this guy is like one of the smartest men on the planet. I mean, legitimately. And let me just play it because so his opinion counts. Okay, let's start. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Let me stop share. I don't think I hit. I don't hit. Hey, you guys get what you pay for. I didn't hit share sound, so that probably wouldn't have been too good a move. Okay. If you guys want a refund, you know how to reach me. All right, here we go.
How do you think about the world of crypto? By the way, I don't know if we can get the camera's not going to see it. The blockchain house is here.
Right.
Every crypto person is in town here in Davos.
Right.
And we've watched it obviously tank. It's not clearly a hedge on inflation, at least thus far.
Right.
But do you see that as the tail? Do you see that as the dog? What's going on there?
I think it's more of a symptom. It's telling you, it's like the canary in the coal mine, right? We're seeing crypto collapse the way it is. I think it's got more downside to it.
More downside.
How
much more? Well,
when I look at Bitcoin, which the technicals have been better than anything else, when we break, below 30,000 consistently, 8,000 is the ultimate bottom. So I think we've got a lot more room to the downside especially with the Fed being restrictive. And let's face it, most of these currencies they're not currencies, right? They're junk, right? I mean, the majority of crypto is garbage. So they're going to be survivors, but, and crypto is the future.
There's hundreds of cryptocurrencies.
19,000.
But do you think that Bitcoin is junk? Do you think that ETH is junk? Do you think Solana is junk? How do you...
I think Ethereum, I think Bitcoin will be survivors.
And survivors at one day at 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 in the sort of Kathy Woods world, or something else?
Yeah, it could be, but I don't think we've seen the dominant player in crypto yet. Right? This is like the internet bubble, right? If we were sitting here in the internet bubble, we would be talking about how Yahoo and America Online were the great winners, and everything else. We couldn't tell you if Amazon or Pets.com was going to be the winner, right? But of course, Yahoo, Google, we didn't have Google yet.
Right.
America Online, the dial-up service died. So, we don't know these. I don't think we have had the right prototype yet for crypto. And let me tell you what that's based on, right? The definition of currency is that it's It's a store of value, it's a medium of exchange, and it's a unit of account. None of these things pass. They don't even pass on one basis.
But if they don't pass now, why would they pass later?
Because technology will come along, and there will be a point where if you can create an ecosystem, then where we can actually use these things for transactional purposes and people feel comfortable, they hold their value.
Right.
Stablecoin's an interesting attempt at that, but candidly, if we're going to exchange it at a set exchange rate like a currency board like the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, right, then it's going to get regulated like currency.
Thank you, Scott Minard, for that infomercial.
Beautiful words. Beautiful words.
Yes. All right. I'm going to share. This is Doug Casey. And if you all do not subscribe to Doug Casey podcasts, he and his partner, Matthew Smith, they do a podcast every day, I think during the weekdays. And for me, it is a must listen. I listened to every single one of them. And this was at the end of, I believe, yesterday's or May 26th. And let's just listen to this because this is all going to come together. Okay. Bear with me.
Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple more questions because our connection started to get a little funky, but I assume you're
Can you hear that?
Indeed.
Okay, thanks.
familiar with Michael Saylor, this guy who has this publicly traded company has been levering it up big time to buy Bitcoin. What do you think about him and him encouraging people to go so hard in on crypto, telling people to take out debt big time to buy Bitcoin in particular, and and about what he's done, the way he's leveraged his own balance sheet to do this?
I think he's probably dramatizing some psychological aberrations. I mean, he likes being a big deal, and it's a mistake to believe your own propaganda for too long. I think that's what he's doing. So
Yeah,
it's bad advice. I mean, not that buying Bitcoin is bad advice. I think it's prudent, but it impresses me as kind of crazy. He's a one-trick pony, I'm afraid.
it really is. It really is. And one of the things that I find really interesting about it and so reckless on his part is that because everyone knows, his entry points and the leverage he took out. So if you want to set up a short against him, if you want to go hard after him and push him out, right where you got to get him down to, like, his exit point, where he has to get liquid on it. So he kind of set himself up to get really harshly attacked. And I wonder how much of what happened with the aggressive selling in the last week for Bitcoin was just around people going, there's an opportunity to cause forced selling for him, then push the market down further.
I got a feeling it's going to wind up being very embarrassing for him.
Yeah, I kind of like to see that. But okay, let me see.
That was
like a Michael Novogratz with his Luna tattoo level embarrassing.
Right. Well, I said this was going somewhere, so let me. I pulled those two clips together to create a graphic. Let me just share this with you. This is designed by legend Monkman. Dude, Bitcoin is so AOL, and took that and created a tweet for Michael Saylor. And here's what I said. During the 90s, American Online's growth was explosive. In 1997, half of all U.S. homes with internet access had AOL. They were the pioneer giant, never to be dethroned. Then advanced tech happened. AOL maxis were like, Google who? And I sent that to Saylor. I misspelled acquire. I love Telegram because you can go back and edit. But that was the culmination of it, just because it's like these, the first one with Minard, he's basically, that was an infomercial for Epic Cash. And one day, Max, I hope both with Doug Casey and Scott Minard. I know you're doing you're writing the DNA of Bitcoin book, and you've started the DNA of Bitcoin podcast. I know you have two down, 4 to go before you start releasing them, but you have had some incredible guests on, and I would like for you to share who those guests were. And then if possible, I think it would be brilliant if you could get Doug Casey on, and also Guggenheim's Scott Minard. I think getting both of those to be able to just speak about, the world of money in general, investments, cryptocurrencies. Max, over to you real quick. And I know you guys, you were going to go second, but it just fits right now. Max, if you could just kind of hack the DNA.
So the website is called dnaofbitcoin.info. The first guest we had was Kurt Wilkert Jr., who's the chief Bitcoin historian at CoinGeek.com. He's been a good friend of mine and a teacher about Bitcoin for about 5+ years now. So he's a great guy. And then number 2, we had Saifedean Ammous, who wrote the book Bitcoin Standard and also the fiat standard. And so later on in the slide presentation, I have quite a bit greater detail on that. And it's going to be great. Now I have a platform to engage these types of people. And as I talk to the most advanced thinkers about Bitcoin, and increasingly it becomes clear what we have and what they do not have, I think our voice could be considerably amplified.
Is there a primary, like when they're talking about Bitcoin, is there a primary, reason why, and a primary, what about it of Bitcoin, is risky?
So it's really interesting because people's critical thinking faculties get degraded once they become emotionally attached to a brand. It's more like a mind control cult, the Church of Bitcoin, and I'm getting the sense that people want to die on that hill, and they are AOL maxis to the bitter end. It's funny. This last one, it was a 90-minute dialogue, and there's probably 25 different cuts that we're going to clip out of there. And it's like we say, right idea, wrong coin. And it's just like bizarre. How can you say these things and then yet believe that $30,000 CD-ROM is going to maintain market dominance versus $1 Blu-ray? Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you. And I know you're going to be doing a slideshow for us here at the end, or in a bit. But Yoga, speaking of
Yes.
right idea, right coin. Why don't you tell everyone what you're going to be doing every week, so that this can be honest and we're going to incorporate it?
Well, I keep running this as long as it makes sense, because we keep driving the same message home. And I just want to make sure that first thing people understand that this is not a prediction tool. This is a post-mortem exam. Okay? Right. A year ago, most of the projects on this list promised their holders the moon. Okay. Mm-hmm. Today, my list is a reality check of what they have delivered so far. Okay. The intent, again, is not to predict the future, but to honestly evaluate the results so far.
I love that.
And we all know that the past performance is not an indication of future results. I mean, that's been hammered, in all of us, who've done statistics and economics. But in this case, what I'm looking at is the past performance and past behavior. Mm-hmm. Okay, of what was promised to happen versus what actually happened. Because today, all of these people are saying the same thing they were saying a year ago, but they expect us to forget what has actually transpired in this course of time.
This time last year, so what are we? We're in May.
So this was exactly.
Yeah, I remember in May, that was when I think everybody, felt like they were really good at crypto, because the first half of the year you almost couldn't go wrong. And so I remember the BTC maxis, and I was believing them. we're talking about, I think Willie Woo was saying that we're going to be over 300,000 by year end, and lots of other people, the predictions were, to lay up at over 100,000, and then the rest of the year happened.
Right, and the numbers are what they are. Look, it's not, and this is one of the things that Scott Minard actually talks about is market exuberance, how there's this inertia in markets. When they overshoot something, they tend to exuberantly overshoot because there's this massive emotional component to the equation. And then when the bottom drops out of something, it drops generally below the actual objective worth of something, right? Because there's this emotional inertia. People get carried away, things take time, et cetera, et cetera. But again, going back to this graph, another question that I get is people say, well, why Epic is not BTC, so why do we keep comparing, right? And we keep comparing because the market and the public and the media insist on lumping everything together into cryptos, okay? And because Bitcoin, like it or not, it's that dinosaur ancestor. It's that senile grandpa that we don't trust the car keys anymore, okay? So it's part of our DNA today, okay? We took the scarcity from them. We took that same 21 million responsible emission scarcity. Michael Saylor's only selling point, scarcity. Bitcoin has scarcity. Scarcity. Did you know 21 million? That's not a lot, scarcity. Just on top of that, we have all these other things that we offer, okay? One of the things that kind of crept up in the discussions, and this is something that Minard hasn't mentioned, but Bitcoin vulnerability today also includes this interesting component that a lot of transactions outside of Bitcoin are resolved in Bitcoin. When Terra Luna UST collapsed, even though their failure was predicted by both their founder and dozens of crypto pundits, but it resulted in a massive amount of Bitcoin being sold off at market, being dumped, liquidated to cover positions. So this is another vulnerability that Bitcoin picked up by being responsible for failure of other cryptos tied to it.
That is very interesting.
It complicates things for them down the road, okay? I'm not saying it's good or bad, I'm just saying it's a factor.
What are your thoughts about Matthew Smith, the partner with Doug Casey, talking about, that Saylor has been so open with his entry points, so public, braggadociously so, and what's your thoughts about somebody?
So on this,
short
if
position?
If you take it at face value, it's a massive potential exposure, okay? And if you take it at face value, now there are all these rumors going around that Michael is not exactly practicing what he preaches, and people are saying like, well, he dumped over 8,000 bitcoins. On the side through his other ventures and stuff like that. So again, if that is the face value reality, if he has not hedged his position of maybe taking a little profit when it was at 60K, then his case is pretty dire. And yes, I mean, as we saw with UST, as we saw with many other cryptos, the leveraging game, and as we saw going all the way back to when George Soros broke the Bank of England. People who have a very public, vulnerable position should at least be a little more careful about how they, keep mentioning it. So yeah, I totally agree with that. There's some really obvious vectors, and just like UST, Terra Luna, a lot of these guys are simply banking on thinking that nobody is big enough to have the initial capital required to get the snowball rolling. And as we saw with Ronin, and as we saw with a lot of the other, DeFi attacks, there's definitely more than one way to skin a cat, and sometimes it doesn't require huge capital to unseat somebody who is the 900-pound gorilla. So that one, I'm watching that one with morbid curiosity, I suppose. I'm honest about that, But to me, the thing that irks me, I guess, is the fact that most of these crypto bros, Bitcoin maxis, expect people to mindlessly accumulate and hodl. So their bag increases in value, and they don't care about people's needs or developing use cases. They basically want people to stuff their mattresses and sit on them, for their benefit, not profit taking, not healthy market interaction, no use cases, etc. And this is insincere BS, especially in case of Bitcoin.
But
you know,
what coin out there is trying to develop use cases in
well,
like
there are a couple.
almost a subway system.
Right, there are a couple of them, and I don't want to get totally Shalarsky on this, but Epic Cash is definitely kicking a lot of ass in that general direction, because again we recognize that you need use cases. You need to be more than just a coin, especially God forbid just a token on somebody else's blockchain, but being a layer one coin, Epic Cash is poised to serve as a foundation for a vastly more complex ecosystem, a series of bridges, a series of value propositions that connect into the greater, constantly changing ecosystem. By the way, this is a big thing that a lot of people don't weigh into their plans, is that the landscape changes, the technologies emerge. And one of the things about Epic that's pretty awesome is that if we come across a technology that doesn't suck, we can actually subsume it into our flexible framework. So the beautiful subway map here is a pretty good representation of what we're talking about, with Epic being just the first step, just the base foundation.
Hey, Max, because I know your brain works this way, you can probably do this off the top of your head, but I want to use this chart here just to go through the exercise. Like, let's say that I had all of these coins in my portfolio, kind of like I did. I mean, there were different coins, but and then walk through the exercise of what would have to happen with with market caps to be able to 2x or 10x your money. Just take a few examples of
yeah. So right now, today, our market cap is right around 15 million. Ethereum is 300 billion. So for you to double your money in Ethereum, or in Ether rather, it takes a net shift of economic energy of 300 billion. Whereas to double your money in Epic, it takes 15 million. So that is like 2,000 times more efficient in terms of doubling your money power, just because we're smaller. If you take Pirate as an example, R, let's say you had $1,000 of R and $1,000 of Epic. Well, now you have $3,000 in Epic and $150 in R. So let's say you were like long-time Pirate chain till the end. I want to have as much of the Pirate network as possible. You would have 20 times more Pirate than you do by being in Epic. So Epic has outperformed basically almost every crypto out there, every stock, every currency index. I mean, scarcity is very important in this hyperinflationary environment, and our scarcity profile is better than anything out there. So Gresham's law is going to be on our side. The next 10x, 100x, 1000x, 10,000x, pick a number.
And Epic's trading what, around $1?
Around $1.
I don't even know. So
yeah, around $1.
So just one BTC would cost you $30,000. So for 30,000, you could get one BTC. 30,000, you could get 30,000 Epic Cash. And can you do this one last exercise? What would it take for Bitcoin to 10x? And what would it take for Epic Cash to 10x?
So, yeah. So Epic would require $150 million to 10x. BTC would require 4.5 trillion.
All right, mic drop, everyone. AOL maxis. Everyone, I want to invite you to take a look up here. Epic Cash Official. That's at Epic Cash Tech. I would love for you to please follow, please retweet. The folks that are managing that are just kicking butt, and it's just it has to be a go-to place for you on a daily basis to stay tuned. Okay, so that's thank you, Yoga.
And by the way, sorry, just real quick, we periodically get drive-bys from our community or the Jeff Berwick fans in our somebody just mentioning that Rafael Laverde, I believe that's Berwick's Chihuahua's name, also doesn't trust Mimblewimble and so on. So periodically we get folks who are not aware that ZK snarks require an elaborate, it's a permissionless crypto that requires a very intimate and elaborate centralized procedure to kick things off. And then, of course, everybody has to trust everybody at that point and hold hands in secret.
Right.
But then after that, it's all super top notch private. So no, guys, sorry, we don't use ZK snarks. We did not have Edward Snowden as the pivot man and the circle jerk of the secret ceremony in the gardens with Rafael Laverde. And we don't have I'm sorry, to our greatest shame, we also do not have a dog as a mascot for our coin. That said, we're still doing okay.
By the way, I do want to report. It did turn up to be a happy, a happy ending, but sorry. But
oh, that is so wrong.
Everyone else out there who has subscribed to the Crypto Vigilante or the Dollar Vigilante, and if you have canceled, well, they canceled me last year at this time, to where they just gave me all my money back, and because they just wanted me out of their life. But this last week, all of a sudden, I'm looking at my PayPal balance, and I usually don't have a PayPal balance, but I did because somebody paid me with PayPal recently, and so I had it there, and I'm like, huh, why did that go down $699? And I look, and even though they canceled me, the auto renew was triggered. And so if I would not have noticed it,
Dirty wants his money.
yeah, but this is a public, what is it? A public announcement. What do they call those things? Just seriously, if you have subscribed, they don't presume that they won't auto renew you. Just keep an eye on that, or do an outreach and just say, please make sure that that I'm not auto renewed. Otherwise you would be. So, okay, enough of that. And Max, now this is going to be a cool part of the show. Can you see that? This is Epic Cash Live, May 27th version. And you tell me another project out there where the founder is going to just give you an inside peek into everything that's happening. So Max, this is your show. You just tell me when to hit next.
All right. So this is available up on the chats. All these links are clickable, so feel free to jump in.
Okay, so you have, I haven't even checked this, oh shoot. Where everybody is, the group watching. God, the community.
Yeah, we'll get better at this every week. This is our third time of doing this presentation, so it gets a little better every time. Just go ahead and hit slideshow for me.
Slideshow.
Upper right-hand corner.
Okay. All righty.
There we go.
Beautiful.
All right, so this is the big picture vision. Epic is the flux capacitor inside the DeLorean so that EUSD can do time travel. So this is these are the three core components of the overall dozen or so. Go ahead and skip next. All right, so in the context of bloody markets, we've done really well, despite the pullback from almost $7 to $1 over these past few months. On the bottom is the current market. There's tremendous demand. So there's a floor. As we get cheaper, there's people that are there ready, willing, and able to buy. But on the sell side, there's hardly anything for sale. So if somebody comes in with 100 grand, that doubles the price. So it doesn't even take 15 million. There's such a supply demand imbalance that there's a lot of leverage on new money coming in. Incidentally, over the course of our history, there have been, McMurphy was saying, I think there's been like 30 days where we've been up 20% or more, and multiple 50% days, something like that over the course of our history. So this is one of those things where to be out is often riskier than to be in.
Hmm.
So
So
go ahead next. Yep.
this rewards hodling. And trading can be risky in this asset. It is because, I mean, to me, I can't imagine ever even trying to trade Epic.
Yeah, I won't throw them under the bus by mentioning their name, but I know somebody that was in very early to Epic, and they were trading the dollar price. I wish they would come to Freeman U so that we can teach them wealth accumulation. But anyway, this guy traded his way down from 120,000 Epic to 30,000 Epic. I know another guy that traded his way from 60,000 down to 10. It really is saddening when people, could be a billionaire and all they get out with is a few, thousands. It's like we've seen this movie before from Bitcoin Core. Those who don't study history are doomed to repeat it. So this is the Epic is the tip of the iceberg. That's the part that people can see. All the other stuff is under the waterline still. Next.
Hey, Max, before I let you go to next, can you just share, you don't have to share names, but there was one guy who apparently is one of the smartest people in crypto, and you were introduced to him, and he was just kind of suspicious because not many people are smarter than him. And when he learned about everything that's underneath the tip of the iceberg, can you just share his comments?
Yeah, so he basically said that I know pretty much everything that exists in the market, and I've never seen anything like this. I'm stunned. There's no project with more depth, not even close at any size.
My favorite. What was his quote to where he told you to stop because you had to replace the chip?
Yeah, he's like, I need to get a 1 terabyte chip for my head. I just can't handle anymore. So we met. That was actually the second meeting. This is a friend of Mars's, so he came in ready to fillet me at dinner, just like everything's a shit coin and a scam and this and that, and it is. Most of this stuff is garbage going to zero. And so within about 30 seconds, he just like, it was like you with the wig, where it was just like, okay, this is going into a different mode. And so he came in guns blazing, in his own words, ready to fillet me. And then within 30 seconds, he's like, okay, wow. All right, let's talk. And so then we had like a 2-hour dinner, and then we met for lunch the next day. I probably talked to this guy for like 6 hours just in the past week or so. He's like, I am going so far down the rabbit hole since we first met. I've spent like half of every waking minute consuming everything I can get my hands on about you guys. And I was like, okay, so you probably found some things that you don't like. I'm sure you're going to have lots of great feedback. And he's just like, no, bro, listen, you guys just, I'm shocked. He's like,
what I respect is the reason why he came into your life is because Mars Callahan, who is co-writing with you Trillions, he wants to get crypto right. So he knew your stuff, but he wanted to be able to, do a gut check. And so this person who we're talking about is someone very, very accomplished in crypto. And I respect that Mars wanted to gut check himself and just make sure that you were on the up and up and weren't just a great talker. And that's why, you three ended up having dinner. And right before Mars, the gentleman who we're talking about came in, and he wasn't going to be very kind. He was going to ask you questions that would expose you. And I think it didn't take very long to where he was telling Mars, I've never been this blown away. Is that fair to say at dinner?
Yeah. I mean, he's just been overflowing with superlatives, which is great because we take a lot of smack from ignorant
I would
people.
love to do a show if he's willing to come on with
you.
Talk about that. Okay.
Yeah, I sent him the note, and maybe he'll do it next time. I'm sure he'll watch this or listen to it later. Yeah, so if you haven't read the piece, Epic Future of Money, I recommend you do. It's at tinyurl.com/epic future of money. And it lays out my thesis for why Epic will be the world reserve currency, the backbone of a new, better woods system. Basically, we've got the option to go back to a gold standard, maintain a fiat standard, go forward to a CBDC standard, or we can go to a Bitcoin standard of 21 million. And within the 21 million, you have the CD-ROM version and the upgradable private mobile Blu-ray version. So I just talk about, the pros and cons of those things. And I think we're going to win.
Excellent.
All right. So this is the core of the system. 2 tokens, as in Terra Luna, to do a stable coin is not enough. We're marketing EUSD as a crypto dollar. Just notice we need to update that. We're not promising too much stability in the beginning. Close enough is close enough, but over time we will get it more stable. And so 3 token models are proven stable. There's many of them, including Maker, that have survived as much as a 95% crash in Ether. We're standing on the shoulders of giants and being leading edge rather than bleeding edge, because we don't have to watch ourselves blow up. We can just watch others blow up.
I understand. And everyone, just full disclosure here. I can't wrap my mind around a lot of this. I'm trying, been covering this for a year, but this is, I'm pretty sure, pretty cool stuff, pretty cool tech that you're working on, but it just goes way over my head. I can't wait till one day I get it too. All right. Oops.
Freeman U. So Freeman University, t.me/Freeman U.
And what, sorry, in brief injection here, but one of the things that Max talks about, our stablecoin concept, is it radically differs from the weight and counterweight system that's been employed by all of the guys that failed and been failing since at least 2015, because a lot of them are actually initially flawed because they're emulating a vulnerability that goes back to the bonds market, namely the death spiral. And they're essentially, all of them are banking that this elephant is not in the room. And what Max is talking about is something that is absolutely fundamentally different.
I'm just trying to go to the next page and it blows past, like it goes
down arrow. There you go. Oh.
No, I
Oh,
there
exit out and share it again.
All right. I don't even know how to exit out. I'm going to stop sharing. And usually I can double click on the screen. Damn. I mean, this is nuts. Okay, well, we're just going to have to go back up here because I have no idea how to exit out of this at all. So
I can do the screen share if maybe that's easier.
Well, you know what? It's not going to help me because when I can't even stop sharing my screen because this is covering it up. So we're going to have to just go with this, guys. Can everyone see it, or are you guys seeing me?
We're seeing you.
Okay, so I'm going to share. Okay, we're just going to have to skip that one page. So talk about this.
All right, so Epic is running full nodes in 121 countries, 2,000 cities. That's as of April. So I'm sure we picked up more in May, and we have a detailed plan to get every single country beyond this. We will get them all.
Excellent.
Some updates on wallets. We can do better. We only grew a net of 22 from 2387 to 2409. The best thing you can do to help the network grow every day is to find somebody you care about and take the time to help them get set up with a wallet and send them their first coin or whatever. If everyone does that once a day, then we would take over BTC by the end of the year. So we do have the power. Everyone can make a difference in some small way every day.
Excellent.
All right. So the Meta DAO structure, I encourage everyone to read the Episphere document that's circulating around that describes the structure of the Meta DAO, which is a DAO of DAOs. There's currently 13 of them. And then also the guild system, just like medieval bricklaying apprentices would have to learn their craft. Here, we're assembling people that are into awareness and communication activities. You can see on the bottom there, it's a little small, but there's 42 in the artist group. There's 6 in the writers group, 41 in the memes group. So we're developing a really scalable structure where people who are working on similar stuff can communicate and find each other and be effective.
And are we able to do this because we're a company and we raised lots of money for funds?
Yeah, nobody's getting paid. We are all there because we have the exact same aligned interests, which are owning our coins, our tokens, working to increase the value of them. We eat our own home cooking. We have an absolutely unique model. Nobody has been able to achieve this level of decentralization. So I'm super proud of this.
Yes, this is awesome.
All right. So this is Batuhan. He, using Epic Fund Me, raised a few thousand coins and rented a car. He's out meeting, that's Haroon in Istanbul in the lower right-hand corner. They're out setting up people with wallets. They're talking to shops. They're taking great pictures, documenting the whole thing on Instagram. And Batuhan has only been around a few months, but he's actually started to help other people. He said it's his goal to create more Batuhans to really get the word out there. So Epic 90 is doing a great job.
And what are those stickers on the car?
So those are Mother Trucker's truck stickers that she made, translated into Turkish.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, right.
And what about over here where these orange, you have these?
So those are soccer jerseys. His first project was he raised a couple hundred coins to print soccer jerseys, and the people are out like advertising Epic while they are playing soccer.
And I'm just gonna share this because when I talk about that, I look at my bag, my current holdings as, my business. And when I talk about investing in marketing, using my coins to invest in my business, which is my holdings, instead of just sitting there, like Scrooge McDuck sitting on the, the big pile and just, not sharing this. I support Batuhan on everything he does. Whenever he does an Epic Fund Me, and I will continue to, because those are my marketing dollars. And what I love about him is he's documenting it all. So it tells me that he is a person that I trust, that when the next time he needs to raise a couple thousand coins, I'm going to be right there first in line to be able to assist. And I hope everyone else is too. Okay.
And when you do that, and when you pay it forward in your enlightened self-interest, if you do the math, I've done this many times. Whenever you give some away, however much you lost by giving up a little bit of your bag, inevitably the remaining coins that you do have go up in value by more than you lost. And so I wish everyone could have that light bulb moment, aha, where that clicks, because if we all did what I do and what you do and some of us do, then we would be able to flip BTC. It would make people's heads spin. So we have that power today. We are just not using it, and we should.
Excellent. All right. So this is hold on, just because there is going to be, no, I can't do it. I was going to make a joke because I have that meat on the street meme. Okay, so this is new.
So this is new to the street. We were able to raise 25. Well, the overall commitment is 25,000 Epic and 30,000 tethers. We need 2,000 more tethers, so please donate if you can. They've started work trusting us that we will come through on the 2, so we need to do that. The Epic part is fully funded. So we got approved to be at NASDAQ Studios. Mike is going to be there at 10:30 a.m. on June 1st. And then that shortly thereafter will get us on NASDAQ TV, Newsmax TV, Fox Business, and Bloomberg. So that'll be our first major exposure that we get.
So will this be one interview that will then be replayed on the others, or?
Yes.
Okay, so okay, that's awesome. And Mike Mumola is the perfect representative. I cannot wait to see that and watch that. Okay.
It's gonna be marvelous.
Yep. All right.
All right. So this is the DNA of Bitcoin. Kurt Wilkert is done. Saifedean Amos is done. We were able to raise $3,000 for his speaking fees. And it was a 90-minute interview. And he said about 25 things that directly supported our case. And so I sent him a nice follow-up and said, hey, read my Epic Future of Money thing, and I'd like to get your take. And he said, my take is you should shut this down before it gets even bigger and more people are hurt from its inevitable collapse. Just buy Bitcoin and run a full node. So you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And you can lead a human to an idea, but you can't make him think. So these guys are going to be looking very, very silly here real soon.
Well, I know it's episode 2, and just to let everyone know that you're going to get 6 of these under your belt before you release them. But, just having a little bit of inside baseball, it's literally, you're spending 95% of the time speaking about Bitcoin and getting Amos's insights on them. And he makes literally so many points for us, right? Unwittingly. And then to come back with that, when you did flip it and spent 5% of the time talking about Epic, he was, from what you shared, really engaged and was like, amazing. And then
he was like, you're not using Bitcoin unless you are running a full node and you're self-custodying and you're doing your own transactions. And he was very proud of that. And I said, okay, well, Bitcoin Core has 22,000 nodes. And I think they're in less countries than we are. I'd have to check that. But I said, after only almost under 3 years, we have about half as many, and we will have more full nodes by the end of the summer. And he, by his own admission, he said he estimated that 99.9% of users do not use the Bitcoin network as he is defining Bitcoin. So as he's out there talking, he's talking about this very small subset of zealots that are so engaged, those 1 out of 1,000 that they do it his way, and whereas our entire network runs on that. So
do you have to get a node in Bitcoin? Does that mean that you're mining?
No, that means you run a 380 gigabyte chain file that takes weeks to download and sync.
I see.
Ours is 2.6.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
It's over 400 now. Just saying.
We're and when we Labs is working on something called parallel initial block download, or parallel IBD, where our initial sync is going to be like 15 minutes versus like weeks.
Wow. Okay, let's go to the. All right. See some lovely faces there.
Ladies of Epicenter, Epic Community Rockstars, Mother Trucker and Islo have signed up to be Sherpas for new people and help them find their footing and introduce people around to enable people to work together to get stuff done. So that is great. Wonderful job, ladies.
I see Chris Champion. That's who I was talking about, that you went to. And since you put it out there.
Welcome, buddy.
Welcome, Chris. I really want you to come on the show, and I have a little side offer for you. Let's talk. Okay.
You and your $20. Come on.
So, that handsome fella right there, he has very sophisticated hair now. You won't get that unless you watch the very beginning of the show. but yeah, so we attended the conference. My daughter makes these coins. You can go to t.me/buy Alex, BYALIX. And they're one of a kind. So there are only 100 of these that'll ever be made. And just a little report card on her is my poor little girl has been, I cannot tell you how sick she's been for about 5 weeks now, and we are working on everything. And so what's happening is like when she does the soldering and that smoke, it impacts her lungs. So I'm working now on getting a setup where as she works, it's going to just suck out all of the smoke, so it'll never come near her lungs. But she's been having some major lung issues. So thank you everyone out there for your patience. It's just been really, really difficult for her to be able to work on these this last month. So I appreciate your understanding. All right, let's go to, oops. Here we go.
Go back up one if you can. We skipped okay. So this is the Education Guild. Episphere describes the high-level overview of how to understand our ecosystem. In the middle there is the E3 localization tracking headquarters. There's our E3 white paper in 54 human native speaker local languages, including African indigenous ones like Tigrinya, Shona, Zulu. We basically just went through by population, and we're trying to get every place on the map that we don't have. And so meeting them where they are and speaking their language is a big part of that. Shelly D and Diego have put up something called Encyclopedia Freemania, which is a wiki where all of our knowledge as we accumulate it will be there as a repository. So as that grows, that'll be a really useful resource.
You know what amazes me about this, Max? Just to brag on the community, it's like over my past 6 weeks, I have been so incredibly busy with my day job, with life. I'm Yoga, when you're talking about that grandpa who, you want to take away the keys. I'm dealing with my dad, his dementia is just really, really spiraled. And so, but I go back in to Telegram and I look and I see all of these, I'm involved with so many of them, and I feel guilty because I'm not engaging in there. But then when I go in and just scroll down to the bottom and I see everyone, it's like there are so many people in the community who are just leaning in, and it's like, man, it's so different than it used to be. And I was talking to you, Max, yesterday. I don't think any of those people who are in there, probably even consider what the price is on a day-to-day basis. I sure don't, but so community out there, thank you. You're just astonishing. I can't imagine there being a better community, in any project on the planet.
Not even close.
All right.
All right, so everyone's welcome to join the governance chat. So if you want to discuss anything, I should add iron sharpens iron on there. Basically, we've got many discussion areas where people who feel passionately about certain things can get involved. So thank you, everyone, for your participation there. We've got 106 in there so far.
Awesome.
All right, so this is the Impact Guild. Epic Impact is one of the 13 DAOs. So we did Epic Trash in Miami, thanks to Vitalina and Robin over there on the left-hand side. They run Vita, a luxury body club, where they do accept Epic as payment. Also, thanks to Mike Mumula and Sal, we're supporting the FAE, Fundación Asistencia Educativa in Mexico City, that teaches 150 children of trash pickers, not just education, but also life skills. And so we're going to work on doing presentations there. Mike Pooch and I are going to, Mr. P are going down to Mexico in the end of August to give a presentation. Impact Network in Zambia. There's 40 schools for young women. So that they're going to be getting going with Freeman University, and we'll use incentivized education to spread the word out there. And then also the Fruit Tree Planting Foundation, David Avocado Wolf, who's a great community member and supporter. He's planted 1.4 million trees. And so we're working on something right now where if you plant a tree, you get some Epic. So these are all great things we're doing on the impact side.
I'd like to also thank up here in the left-hand corner, nutritionist Rafael Laverde, who basically coined the phrase epic trash, and we just appreciate it. It's great branding, and thank you for your service. Okay.
Yeah, he's a nutritionist.
Lucy tacos.
All right, you skipped one, so let's go up if you can. All right, and so our Canary network that's coming, ECK. If you own Epic, you will get ECK. We're working on ECR first, but basically that includes a budget where we'll have the ability to pay people to do different things. So as ECK comes in, we gain another blade in our Swiss Army knife to do this more than we can today.
Excellent.
All right, so this is the infrastructure guild. We've got the Explorer. The hash rate adjusts every 2 hours independently for each algorithm versus 2 weeks in Bitcoin Core for the their SHA-256. Right now, we've got more mining pool concentration than we should. So if you're on ice mining, please give pool or 51 pool or Fast Epic a try. Those are great pools too. We don't want any one pool to have over 50%. Ice mining is not gonna try and nuke us. And if he did, the other pools and all the solo miners would pick it up. But just on principle, centralization resistance is very important. So spread out your mining if you can.
All right. I'm trying to do this slowly there.
All right, so this is Epicenter Labs. This is the subway map coming together. We are moving forward so much faster than I could have even dreamed of 6 months ago. So as we build out our
Because you never sleep.
Yeah, yeah, no, pretty soon here, I will. So 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for 4 years.
You can sleep.
I'll have to recharge at some point.
Yeah, you can sleep when you're dead. You know that old saying.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So, EDEX, that's very exciting. On the right-hand side, we've got 4 major trading formats: atomics, local, order book, and swap. And so as our protocols come together and our ability to execute gets better, we're going to be able to pull all of these things together. So we're really, really doing great on the tech side.
Mm. All right, I'm trying to do it slowly. There we go.
All right. So this is the most important thing that we could possibly do, and we really need to pull together as a community. We need to come up with 175 grand as soon as possible, because we can get this thing up within 90 days. The E1 wrap and unwrap capability using WAN chain's decentralized bridge unlocks about 40 dexes. You can see the list on the right hand side that do $3.7 billion a day in volume. So we're going to be connected to Avalanche, Binance Smart Chain, Cardano, Polkadot, Moonriver. I think a few other ones. Phantom is another one. Ethereum, of course. So we're going to plug into basically all of the DeFi DEX landscape through the E1 token. So this is super important. And if you're sitting on cash and you want to take Epic to the moon, let's get this funded. And then it also unblocks EUSD. We cannot do EUSD without this. So if you want EUSD, help fund this to the extent you can.
Hey, Max, talk about the 2-for-1 EIOU.
Yeah, so if you give $1, stable coins work, Epic also works, but let's say you give $1,000 today, you will get $2,000 you'll get 2,000 EIOU tokens. EIOU are placeholders for future EUSD. They will eventually pay out $1. So if you need the money in the meantime, you will not get $1 because you'll have to sell them to the aftermarket at a discount. But if you can hold on until the DAO has the financial resources to reclaim them, you will get 2-for-1. So I would, if everybody reached into their pocket, if you have $1,000 and you send in $1, if we all did that, we would get this funded, or maybe $10. I don't know. But if we all kick in a tiny little slice, we will I don't want to specifically promise a number, but this is I want to be emphatic. This is the single most important thing that we have in front of us.
The question that's going to come up is how would we, and I presume that L. McMurphy will do what he does and make it clearly very clear on how somebody can donate.
Yeah, so there will be a donation address up on the ECIPT 004 document. We will work on that today. And when you send in a transaction, McMurphy will send you the EIOUs.
Will you also accept Epic Cash?
Yes, Epic is the best. Send Epic if you can.
Now, if you send Epic, and then we need 175,000 to begin. So is then whoever is going to do the beginning, are they willing to accept Epic?
Yeah, so 175 is the whole project. We'll do milestones. So we only need about 50 to get started.
Okay.
And they're happy to.
They're happy to take 50 grand worth of Epic.
Yes.
So we don't have to worry. Like this is just for example, if I sent you $175,000 worth of Epic, I don't have to worry then about somebody's going to have to go sell that Epic to come up with UST like we have to with New to the Street, right?
Well, I mean, everybody needs to, we live in a fiat world, and if your cost structure is in dollars to whatever extent, then you need to liquidate those. But our partners are looking to build their skin in our game as much as they're able to. So I would say the more Epic we can come up with and the more we can get them to hold that indefinitely on their balance sheet, the better. But we just need to manage it. I mean, with all the things that are popping, we are not going to be at $1 for long. Momentum breeds momentum. So I think we'll find that our ability to muster financial firepower dramatically increases in the weeks and months to come.
Oh, 100% it will. I mean, when we break through $5 again and $10, and everyone's going to become very, very generous. But if you say so, sir, after everything that you've put in this, that this is the most significant thing that we can do by far, I believe you. So you can count on my support.
Perfect.
All right, let me go to the next. Is that it?
I think that's it. Right at 10.
All right. Stop share. And is it still sharing? This drives me nuts. I can't get out of this.
Oh, you're good. And then there was a question from the chats. EMPL, Elastic Multi-Platform Liquidity, is our algorithmic unit of account that is also serving as a link to the precious metals complex. So CGT token, which is redeemable for 1 gram of physical gold, that will be swappable back and forth between our different assets. So as we have one price stabilized currency at $1 in a USD, one price stabilized peg to the SDR at $1.39 currently, and then the gold link as well through EMPL, and also the E1 token. E1, of course, is redeemable for 1 epic coin. So basically, if you think of a camshaft, that the different lobe angles cancel out the vibration of a 6-cylinder engine or a V8 or whatnot. We are developing the capability to not just have a stable coin, but a stable chain, where we've got a lot more scalability and we can operate safely and get to bigger scales without worrying that a guy with $1 billion is going to come and try and blow us up.
Okay. People, sorry if I've been looking really confused. I have my big screen here and I can't get out of this presentation at all so that I can even see who's in the chat, which I'm going to have to figure that out before we do this again next. All right, look, we have just gone over an hour, so I think that's a wrap. Mike, I see you in here. I didn't know if you, and sorry, it took me a while to see you, but Mike Momola's in here. Were you wanting to share anything or just say hello, or were you just listening in?
Listening in, nothing to share. Excited for next week, so thanks.
Well, thank you for doing it, first of all, and you're going to knock it out of the park. I can't wait. Can't wait. You're the perfect man for the job. Perfect person for the job. You're just perfect for the job. So, all right. Booyah. Okay. So, everyone, I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. I hope I got a ton out of this Friday, this show, and I can't wait to, and I usually don't go back and listen to the shows, but this one I'm going to, because I just think there's a whole lot of substance here. And if you're not encouraged about where we're going after listening to this show, just please DM me. You can find me at t.me/epic cash. I'm in there all the time. You can DM me, but I want you to do your research and find another project out there that has as much meat on the bones as Epic Cash and the greater what would you even call it? The greater ecosystem. There's not one out there. And I think you're noticing that now. So we are yeah, go ahead.
Uncle, sorry to interrupt, but just one last thing. We need your help. If you are able to do anything at all and want to get more involved, from nothing to a little bit, or from a little bit to a lot, the time is now to get your oar in the water and row, and don't be shy. The more power we can put to the ground with all of us working, the faster we will get toward where we want to go. So please DM me at maxfreeman4 on Telegram, and it would be great to get people more plugged in. So please help if you can.
Excellent. And that was the other thing I noticed when I was going back through Telegram, is I'm like, where are all the negative people? Where did they go?
In the trading channel.
That's
yeah, or some of the banished circles. You know who you are.
we do get some. Yeah, we do get some of the best trolls, though. I mean, and that is always a good indication of a project. Once you get past a certain point, the quality of the trolls improves. They get more belligerent. They get more, interesting and entertaining. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Miles Edgelord. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, why are you here?
It's Berwick. It's Berwick, dude. I'm sorry. He's sitting there eating a Lucy taco and just talking smack.
All right. So unless you guys have anything, I want to just tell everybody in the community, thank you for being here, and wishing you a great weekend, and hope to see you guys Wednesday for Crypto Coffee with Todd Lewis, where we go through all of the attributes of superior currency, and we explore each one, comparing Epic to Bitcoin to gold to cash to digital reserve notes.
They go deep and they go long. So just
they go deep. Yep. All right. And it will be at 10 a.m., not 8 a.m., because Todd is now in a different time zone. So for the next 3 weeks, it'll be at 10 a.m. All right, everyone, have a great weekend.